Hey guys, welcome back to BCMN Bracketology. Today we're going to be going over the Big 12 Conference Tournament bracket, and we're going to be making our predictions for it. Thank you guys so much for the overall support on recent videos. We really appreciate the likes, comments, and subs, especially those comments though. Even if you don't disagree with us, comment down below what you guys think of our videos. If you agree, disagree, what's your favorite team? We like to respond and tell you guys their best chance of making it to the tournament or even winning it all. So let's hop into the video today. So first game, we got TCU versus Kansas State. Both teams really just terrible this year. Although Kansas State recently, I've been surprised by them. I think they just beat Oklahoma, who's a great team, and they also just beat TCU away. So I think that's enough to be able to beat TCU again.
Yeah. Okay, next is Baylor, Kansas State. While Kansas State is heating up a very tiny bit, Baylor is still one of the best teams in the country, and they're going to blow them out.
Yeah, so now we got a West Virginia Oklahoma State game. I love this rematch. We just saw this game of Oklahoma State at West Virginia, and Oklahoma State was able to come away with the win without Cade Cunningham. I don't think they will ever play as good as they did again without Cade Cunningham in that game. They were knocking down every shot. It was ridiculous, and for some reason, the refs were even it was a little bit biased if you watched the game. Oklahoma State has been incredible, though, and West Virginia has as well. I think both these teams in the tournament can easily make a Final Four run, maybe even a finals run or championship run. Oklahoma State, they've been incredible even without Cade Cunningham. With Cade Cunningham coming back, I don't see West Virginia being able to stop him, although I think the fast pace is I think Oklahoma State counters West Virginia's fast-paced game quite well, although West Virginia against a different team I could see winning, but I love Oklahoma State this year.
Yeah. Now going over to the right side of the bracket, we got Oklahoma, Iowa State. While Oklahoma has lost a couple in a row to good teams and also lost to Kansas State, which is a bad loss, Iowa State has not won a game since December 20th. I think that just speaks for itself.
Yeah, so now we got Kansas, Oklahoma. Kansas is by far the most Oklahoma is by far the most underseeded team in this conference. They're a 7 seed, but they're easily a top 20 team in the nation. Kansas, though, they've been really hot recently. That game against Baylor, they gave everything they had, and I thought they played incredible. Even that loss to Texas, it went into overtime at Texas, which is a tough stadium to play in overall. They've been looking great. Earlier in the year, I was really disappointed in Kansas, but Kansas coming off some great wins over Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and Baylor. I think Kansas is going to be able to win this. Oklahoma and Kansas, they split the series 1-1 this year, but Kansas lost them way earlier in the season back in January, and I think they're a completely different team right now.
Yeah, I agree. All right, now we got Texas Tech. Recently, both teams have been playing pretty good. Texas just barely lost to West Virginia, beat Kansas that was playing really well, but lost to Texas Tech. They also beat Oklahoma. So it's a lot of up and down with them recently. Texas Tech did lose to Baylor recently, but we're not going to take anything against that. Lost to Oklahoma State, lost to Kansas, but both teams are heating up there, but also beat Texas. So I can see this going either way, but we're gonna choose based on a star player who we think is going to be really good right now because it's March. We think Mac McClung is going to take over and get Texas Tech that win over Texas.
Yeah, so now to make the finals, we've got our Final Four is Baylor, Oklahoma State, Kansas, Texas Tech. To make the finals, we've got a game between Baylor and Oklahoma State, kind of a rematch game from recently. Baylor and Oklahoma State recently just played an incredible game. Cade Cunningham, although he did get injured, it was in the last 45 seconds where the game was already decided. So I'm not really going to weigh that heavily on that game. I think Baylor just outplayed them. Baylor was playing their best basketball after that West Virginia game, and I'm shocked they were able to bounce back so nicely after that Iowa State and Kansas terrible games. Against Iowa State, they looked horrendous, and they barely won. Came down to like the last 1 minute or so. And against Kansas, they played some of their worst basketball, while Kansas played their best basketball. Although that was a COVID break, so we can't really take that away from them. And then they rebound quite nicely, getting wins against West Virginia, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, showing their dominance in this conference. I don't see Oklahoma State winning this, but Cade Cunningham, you never know. He could drop 40 points again and easily come away with a win here. But Baylor, I think their defenses did a great job stopping him the first time, and I think they can do it again.
Yeah, and now we go to Kansas, Texas Tech. I think it is a great matchup. Both teams have been playing pretty good. Kansas has beaten Texas Tech twice this year, but both were within 6 points. Both times, Kansas has been on a hot streak, beating Baylor, beating Texas Tech, beating UTEP, but that was a very close game. Texas Tech, we talked about, has been playing pretty good recently. But when you look at some stats, Kansas does not have a player averaging over 13 points, which you really need that person that can get you a bucket in March. And you look at Mac McClung, he's averaging 16 points. He's a bucket getter, and he's being a great March Madness player. So I think he's going to carry Texas Tech to get another win in the tournament.
Yeah, so now we got our final matchup, Baylor, Texas Tech. It's an interesting one. Baylor is obviously supposed to win this. Texas Tech made a run here. I personally think the game previous that Baylor had to play against Oklahoma State or even West Virginia, I think that'd be a closer game than this one and a better one to watch. I think the right side of this bracket, honestly, is not weak. I think that all these teams are incredible. I think the right side is definitely a little weaker than the left side. I think Baylor, Oklahoma State, and West Virginia all could have won it all, depending on who made it out of there. Although Texas Tech, you never know, they could always get hot, but Matt McClung Baylor locked him down again. I think this was just Sunday. They won by nearly 15. At no point in the game did Texas Tech look like they were coming back. In the middle, they made a little run around halftime, but then Baylor just silenced them right away, and then it was just over by then. I think Texas Tech led the game for like a minute or so. I don't think this is going to be a close one. I think Baylor's going to win it all.
If I could chime in just a tiny bit, I think Texas Tech was in it for a very tiny bit, like you said, Ben. But Baylor can play all 40 minutes and can score, can defend for all 40 minutes. And Texas Tech has not shown that they can do that against a team like Baylor. They're going to get out hustled, and they're going to lose by just as badly as the first time.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider dropping a sub. It really means a lot, helps us out, and it's free for you guys. So thank you guys so much. Have a good one.